Thank you, Madam Chair, for this important hearing. In Southwest Florida, in the city of Northport, it's known to have many archaeological sites within its city limits. It's home to there in the surrounding area, the Warm Mineral Springs site. The first Native Americans arrived there between 12,000 to 15,000 years ago during the Pleistocene period, forgive me, during the Ice Age, a time when Florida was cooler and drier and giant mammals like mammoths roamed across our state. It's hard to believe. We already know it's already illegal to dig up as well as to buy, sell human artifacts from Native Americans or from Native America or federal land. But as recent as 2019, looters were collecting items in the Myakkahatchee Creek. Bill Goetz, a local historian, explained, what's found underneath this creek are valuable artifacts that date back to the first Native Americans, but they're supposed to stay here. Large holes could be found all along the bank and underneath the surface, evidence of looting. They're literally digging holes in our history, said Gates. These wet sites really preserve a lot. These people were not preserving anything. Obviously, with their excavation techniques, they were just causing damage. Illegal trafficking in culturally sacred tribal objects and artifacts is still a real threat in Florida and across the nation. That's why the STOP Act is so important to enhance protections of Native American artifacts, and that's why we're supporting it here today. The RESPECT Act is in that common theme that Chairwoman Ledger-Fernandez was talking about, that trust, that input that is so critical for the United States government in conjunction with our Native American tribes. The RESPECT Act is critical to codifying tribal consultation for proposed projects and regulatory action to ensure meaningful input. Mr. Fletcher, your written testimony provides background on the treaty era of U.S. history and how it established the modern day understanding of the federal trust responsibility to federally recognized tribal governments. Given that you testified for us last Congress, in your opinion, would the revised RESPECT Act discussion draft help ensure that the federal government lives up to our trust obligations?
Absolutely. Thank you, Congressman Soto. I'm happy to say that I think it's a big step forward from the previous draft, which was already a big step forward. Treaty rights really are the origin of what the Supreme Court once referred to as the duty of protection, which is the origin of the current modern day understanding of the trust responsibility. It is the relationship between Indian tribes and the United States. And as I said before, from the tribe's perspective, or from many tribes' perspective, that is a familial relationship. Even if we look at it merely as a governmental relationship, I think it's fair to say that if you look at some recent opinions from Justice Gorsuch on the Supreme Court, you'll see that at least some justices on the court believe that, understand that what Indian tribes gave up in seeking a relationship that is a trust relationship with the United States is vast and extensive. There are tribal interests that definitely include treaty rights, but they go further than treaty rights. Indian tribes negotiated for a homeland. They negotiated for a permanent relationship with the federal government. And the RESPECT Act goes a long ways into acknowledging that there is this ongoing relationship.
Thank
a consultation
you,
is just a small part of that, but thank you.
Forgive me, my time's
No
limited.
problem.
Ms. Van Schilfgaard, based on your experience, do you believe that passage of the RESPECT Act would help build trust between tribal governments and federal governments like Mr. Fletcher was talking about?
Yes, I totally agree. I think consultation achieves a lot of objectives, the matter at hand that's being consulted, but also in building the trust between the consulting parties. So by establishing this codified floor of expectations, both parties can enter consultation with stronger expectations about what's going to happen, what we're going to achieve, and how we're going to get there. I think it's a win-win.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fletcher. I have 10 seconds left if you want to supplement your answer.
No, that's fine. It's what I was going to say is in my written testimony. So thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, and I yield back.